There was once a widow living in a time of great difficulty. Her husband had died, and with him went her security and protection. He had been a faithful servant of God, but when he passed away, he left behind unpaid debts. Now the widow faced an impossible situation. She had 2 sons, and according to the customs of the time, if she could not repay what she owed, her sons could be taken away to work as servants. So she went to the prophet Elisha. She told him everything, her loss, her fear. Elisha listened carefully. He did not rush her. He did not dismiss her pain. Then he asked a simple question. "What do you have in your house?" The widow paused. She answered honestly, "Nothing at all, except a small jar of oil." To her, it seemed insignificant, too small to matter. But Elisha saw something else. He gave her instructions that sounded unusual. He told her to go to her neighbors and borrow empty jars, not just a few, as many as she could gather. Then he told her to take the jars inside her home, shut the door behind her and her sons, and begin to pour the oil. They filled the room with empty vessels, waiting to be filled. Then she picked up the small jar of oil. She began to pour, and something extraordinary happened. The oil kept flowing. She filled one jar, then another. Her sons brought her jar after jar, and she kept pouring. Finally, her son said, "There are no jars left." Only then did the oil stop flowing. The miracle ended not because God ran out, but because there was nothing left to fill. The widow stood in awe. What began as fear had turned into abundance. She returned to Elisha and told him everything. Elisha gave her simple instructions once more. Go and sell the oil, pay your debts, and live on what remains. God had rescued her sons. He had provided a future. This story teaches us powerful lessons. God often begins with what we already have, even when it feels small. The widow did not receive provision until she acted in faith. She gathered the jars before she saw the miracle. Faith required obedience. The empty jars represent our own lives, our fears, our needs. God does not fill what we refuse to bring to Him. This story reminds us that God sees those who feel forgotten, those who think they have nothing left to give. God meets us in our emptiness, not because of wealth, not because of power, but because of faith.